What's up, everybody? Brett here, and we're back playing some more Darkest Dungeon. And picking up where we left off last time, bumper crop. So supply costs and provision costs are down 100%, which is awesome for the upcoming boss battle that we're getting ready to do. Just let me refamiliarize myself for a second with what we have going on. I'm tempted to take this level 1 leper. We lose nothing if we have to tell him to go away.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
Yeah, I mean, if we come across a level 2 or 3 later on and he's still level 1, we'll just, get someone else. Dive Beaglin. I don't know that name. That's a weird one. I've never seen... I actually don't even know if I've ever seen, like, 2 names like that before on any of the ones that are given to... The ones that are given to, like, the AI. It's got misses the spot. That kind of sucks. And Eagle Eye is garbage. And Mediator is not good either. Okay. Whatever. We'll stop messing with that. We've got a boss battle to get to. Any items that we want to sell? I'm so tempted to get rid of this Youth Chalice. Sells for 1,500. We're starting to get to that point, guys, in the game where we just have lots of good items and we don't need to hold on to really bad greens. But I'm going to hold off. We got to pick our crew. We need to check it out. So we're fighting the Sonorous Prophet first. So that means we're going into the ruins. I kind of like... I mean, we can use a level 1 healer. That's fine. It's the DPS that we need to be aware of. And if I remember right, and I think I do, Xenophon would be great here. Don't we have another Crusader? We do, but he's only level 1. It's Oz. Could bring in Brett here. And perhaps... What level is... Where's Skibo? Skibo could come in also. This could work. So, basically what I'm thinking about right now is the boss battle itself. And I know this battle. He's a really annoying stress guy who sits behind a bunch of pews, and you need to be able to hit someone in the back line in order to affect him. So, I mean, there's probably better choices than the Abomination for doing that if we're just trying to kill him. But there's like a little known, well, I'm not going to call it little known, because I'm sure if you played this game you probably are aware. But the pews that he hides behind are just there to obstruct your melee characters from getting to him. And if you kill the pews, which is really not that hard to do, they get progressively more health as the farther back they go. You get them as like a very valuable, almost like a gem, right? It's just worth money and you sell them at the end. So it's a way to get extra value from this fight. It's not a very hard fight. And I believe if you do that, you even get an achievement, which I'm pretty sure I already have. But one of the best ways to take care of it, probably actually Hugh. Hugh is probably great against it. But I just don't know if I want to bring a bunch of like level 1s into this. Because Crusader is so good in the ruins, but it could be something like this. And then where's Brett? This is not a bad group either. Maybe there's someone we could bring in that's better than Skibo. She's almost level 4. She is level 3. You know what, I think this is fine. This is a good group. Yeah, we're going to take on the Sonorous Prophet. So, Raving Madman, Doom Bearer, Apocalyptic Herald. Whatever his role, there's a sickness in this wild sermons that must be silenced. Dispose of this prophet. Make sure all trinkets are unequipped. Sort by rarity, and we're good to go. Alright, what do we want to do? Let's probably equip here with the extra protection. Straight up 15% bonus HP is nice. Our dodge is already kind of crappy. It's so nice to have accuracy. on him whenever he does his rakes in this battle. We could also consider giving him the Book of Holiness just to reduce his stress. What are we doing here, though? Increases chance to cause bleed. That's nice. Damage, stress. Lowers his accuracy, though, which kind of sucks. If we do this, we want to do these both together. We just get a decrease in accuracy. That sucks so bad. Let's just do something like this. And lowering her damage by 10% is not really a lot. We could give her a little more accuracy. That might be nice. Or some extra dodge. That's cool. I don't think anyone in there is going to try and stun us. So just huge dodge from her. How much is it? 15, so she'll be at 20. We should definitely go back into the hamlet to see if we need to level anybody up first. Alright, Brett's going to get the aggressive mutation. And the iron chains. And then we can get the resilient leather vest here. That gives him an extra 4 HP. That's not a lot, but 5 dodge is great. Okay. Well, you're going to want to upgrade pretty much everything on the Abomination. It's pretty expensive. We've already leveled this up twice, which is nice. I think we did that in the last episode. That brought the cost down by 20%. In addition to the 10% we already had. So you could take a second to look at it. Interesting. Okay. What about this? Slightly better stun chance. Slightly higher accuracy, slightly higher crit. This one's more accuracy. Slightly better heal. We really care about Rake. Rake, Absolution are great. I mean, these few abilities here are the ones I find myself using the most often. But the other two are fine. And then this is going to be good too. Let's get the upgraded Hound's Rush. Does it increase the points of bleed? It does not. That's where you get your biggest bonus. So let's say I hit 4 people with this stronger bleed. This is 2 bleed per second or per round versus 1. A 70% chance. So the chance goes up. I like that even more than the extra stress that it potentially heals. And a better self-heal. Okay. We're good to go. And we're going to over-provision like crazy just because everything is free. You hear that lovely sound of nothing happening? Yeah, we can't do all that. That's crazy. But we can bring full stacks. So what do we have? What do we have left? We'll bring 2 stacks of torches. We could bring some laudanum. Probably not necessary, but there may be some horror here. And we're good to go. Bring 1 extra torch. We can burn that one right at the beginning.
Excavations beneath the manor were well underway when a particularly ragged indigent arrived in the hamlet. This filthy, toothless miscreant boasted an uncanny knowledge of my ambitions and prognosticated publicly that, left unchecked, I would soon unleash doom upon the world.
So of course we had to kill him. A little bit of mismatch there with the captions versus what he was actually saying.
The echoes of his mindless tittering reverberate maddeningly.
He must be silenced. Nice! Secret room right off the bat. Perfect. So, as I've said many times before, we can tell where the boss is based on which room is the furthest away. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I would imagine that's probably where it is. As we get closer, we'll be able to count the rest. Sack of fat loot. Now, of course, bleed is not great in the ruins. Skeletons don't bleed. But I think the Sonorous Prophet does. And this guy certainly bleeds as well. Just try and get rid of him. He'll bleed out before he's able to do anything. Go for the stun there.
The match is struck.
Don't like leaving the bone courtier alive, but we don't have a ton of damage in this crew. Backline damage. We don't have like a highwayman or something, for instance. We could have made this battle incredibly easy, or this dungeon incredibly easy by taking a bunch of level 3 guys. But where's the fun in that?
Weapon that cuts on its own.
Okay. We have stress relief if we need it.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
And here we'll probably just go for the stun. I'm not that worried about this guy. I just don't want to be hit by another Tempting Goblet.
Their formation is broken.
Good damage from the leper.
Maintain the offensive.
That would have been sweet. We would have gotten the heal and probably the kill.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, of course we don't need an extra one of these. So we'll just take that. And we can't even light that torch even if we wanted to. So here we have a knightly set of armor. I think it just gives protection. We've already got plenty of protection here. Let's give it to Bread. This is usually what happens. We get dodge and protection until camp. So that'd be nice to keep until we get to the boss battle. Alright, we made it into the secret room. Now you have to have a key for the secret room. Otherwise you don't get the full benefit from the treasure. Oh my god, we got Junia's head. This is one of the best healing items in the game. Basically, plus 30% healing skills. Sorry, that was barely English. Plus 30% healing skills on any healing character. So, you know, it's not class specific. And then the plus 20% stress we can either ignore or just straight up counter it with something like the Book of Sanity. So that's great. Now, what do we toss here? I think we toss the laudanum. Make sure we pick that up. We're gonna toss the dog treats. We just really don't need them. Dang, we have so much stuff. Our excessive torches are, I mean, they're really excessive, so we'll toss those. We have firewood, and we know where the boss is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, the boss is here. So we're gonna go straight there. Fight the boss, and then if we need to camp after that, we will. Alright, who's got the good disarm? We'll take it. It doesn't give us any stress relief, but it's the best option. Oh, the sarcophagus. Or whatever, the Iron Maiden, rather. And for once, we have an abundance of stuff. So a stun charm is also not worth very much. But no one's probably gonna... I don't think we're gonna need the anti-venom. Let's toss that. The next thing I would toss would probably be the bandages. And another sweet scout. Yeah, lots of treasure in this place. No thank you, good books. Alright, here we go. Room battle, let's do it. Alright, the Acolyte's got to go first, if we can help it. You know what, let's do some of this. Yeah, she's dead. So we can focus our attention. He's dead as well now. Not bad. We're going to take one querulous shot. And he misses.
A death by inches.
Alright, he keeps going after the guy who's got huge extra dodge.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Damn, I can feel it. I heard that whoosh sound and I just thought for sure he was dead. Man, I know that there's another Darkest Dungeon game coming out, Darkest Dungeon 2. But man, they could have added so much more to this game. As far as I can tell, this game is still hot. People are playing this game,
As
people
the
are still
fiend
buying
falls,
it.
A faint hope blossoms.
This is something of a beloved series, you could probably say. I don't think it would be unfair to say that. Pick up an emerald. We do want to make room for gold as well. Man, we're getting like rich already. And we're going to have to make room for those pews. Damn, we're going to get rid of this food. This is so bad. I think it's... Okay, so this is crazy, but I think we're going to get rid of the holy water. After using some of it. Like, man, do we drop the onyx as well? There's just not anything else for us to get rid of. We could camp just to make space, but that's kind of crazy. Damn, do we just toss the herbs? Yeah. So here's the thing, guys, and if you wonder, you know, if I haven't made it clear enough as to why this is causing me some difficulty, it's because we're trying to get those pews at the end as well. So between these, you know, puzzling trapezohedrons, Junia's head, the three pews we're going to try to get, and all the other gear we have, there's a lot of choices to be made. I think we can toss this debuff charm. I would rather have the portraits over 750 gold. We of course don't want to get rid of shovels yet. We see now that there are obstacles, plenty of obstacles. We're just going to have an abundance of loot.
Another one falls. Executed with impunity.
Alright, at least we still get the torchlight.
Begone, fiend.
And we'll toss the rest. Citrine only worth 250. I'll take those though. Man, I want these crests. Crests are the least valuable of the heirlooms, but I still want them. And I think I would value them over, you know, gold. But we're going to pick up more gold. So I think if I'm going to dump something that's worth something, I just want to dump either the stun charm or the onyx. And I think it's going to be the stun charm. Almost guaranteed to pick up more of those crests. Just like this.
Laden with loot are often low on supplies.
So I mean, after we beat the boss, we might not even want to continue like adventuring because our packs will be so full we just won't be able to realistically hold anything more. Good stun. No chance we make him bleed. He's got 200% bleed resistance. But it was a way to spread around some damage. It's only a 1. Go. And Q. That's some dead guys. And we'll take this time to heal ourselves, reduce our stress.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Another lock of patience. We already have one of these. I think we're gonna pass on that. That one might be worth 1150 or something like that. Might have been worth it to grab that one over the onyx, I'd say, or even over the torches. But like I said, guys, we have to make room. We've got lots of stuff that's going to be hitting our inventory right after this battle.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
It's a pretty good problem to have, though, having too much loot. We're going to hew and get that skeleton kill. I love how he just kind of like throws his arms wide. Like, go ahead, hit me. Nice. The odds of us landing that stun were pretty low.
Well struck.
20% damage he gets on crits. That's so great. Alright, we're so close we can feel it.
Ghoulish horrors.
Man, look at all the stuff we're
Brought
getting.
low and driven into the mud.
We're probably just gonna have to turn around and throw that away. Alright, y'all, here we go.
The madman hides there, behind the pews, spouting his mindless drivel.
Alright guys, in the harder difficulties of this, one of the best strategies to use is a man-at-arms and his ability to protect people. An antiquarian is also surprisingly good in this boss battle because she also has a similar ability. When he goes to do this attack, he drops prognostication. He drops rubble on top of you and it does a ton of damage. But it's not going to be a problem for us. But it's time to get the pain train going. And we need to start raking. He's got no bleed resistance at all. There's no reason we shouldn't start working him down. Alright, one stack of blight. His stun resistance is pretty high. We also can't hit him back there anyway. But the Vestal's going to be very important in this battle just to keep people off of death's door. But check this out. We're going to use this buff. It's called Revenge. It's going to give him extra damage and accuracy, as well as crit, I believe. And dodging that attack is huge. It does a ton of damage. They're going to go for it again. Just keep buffing up that strength, or that damage rather. Meanwhile, stacking a little bit of bleed here and there, doing some damage to him. And now we start healing.
Grievous injury.
Okay, he landed the stun.
Fear.
He landed both stuns. That's pretty bad. That's really bad in conjunction when the rubble falls. He missed. That's so huge. Okay, he's doing it on our two frontliners. First two pews fall, and now we'll start raking him and hewing him.
A momentary abatement.
Ugh, so creepy. Just like squishing eyeballs in our face. Get out of here with that, man. So the pews had increasingly more and more life. See that it did 19 damage. This one has 55. So it's going to take a second to get through that. Let's just keep him up. He takes increased damage, and he has reduced dodge. Going down, man. This guy is very much like a Rasputin type character. If you look at his art, it's actually pretty sweet. He's got a bunch of daggers in his back. He's got a bunch of like weighted maces around his body, like balls and chains. Probably to put him in like a river or something. His eyeballs are ripped out and like held in his hand, and he's in like a stockade. Craziness. Very kind of Rasputin-y. Want to make sure we kill this pew before we kill him. So that way we can get that. Nice. All 3 pews go down. And now we just focus him. You can see how if we wanted to build like a very single target centric company, like a highwayman, arbalister, something like that together, they would easily be able to wreck him with a mark. Like a marked party, essentially, is what I'm talking about. But we're going to kill him before any of this happens. And this should be it.
In life, his claims to recognition were dubious at best. In death, they are ridiculous.
So here we go. Consecrated pew. We got a bunch of them. Man, I think we tossed the shovels. We tossed the keys. I want to camp just to make sure we get some stress relief. Get rid of this perhaps. It's only worth 500. If we just drop the food in this and then pick these 2 up, we can just leave. And I think that's fine. I guess there's no real reason to just drop the food, although that doesn't really do anything. Yeah, we're done. That's a lot of value from all of this stuff. If we had an antiquarian for this run, we'd have been overwhelmed in gold. Super lucrative. They're worth 2,500 a piece. These are worth 3,500 a piece. This isn't including, you know, our 5,000 or so in interest, plus the couple thousand we're going to make on the items that we're going to sell. Picked up 20 crests. Grew some levels. Ski made it to 3. He's got second wind. Natural eye is good. And gothic. Okay. That'll let him pair much better with an occultist.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
And that was our second book of sanity. Beautiful. If we got one more of those, we could actually sell the Book of Unholiness as well. We could almost do that right now, but I think having 3 minus 20 stress items is great. If you can remove stress as a kind of debilitating factor in these runs, you should definitely do that. So 1,125 gold, I was pretty sure that thing was valuable. And the Witch Doctor's Vial isn't bad. Just a straight up plus 15% skill chance, or chance to stun rather. It's not bad. We can hold on to that. What else did we pick up? We picked up the Damage Stone. This is not a bad early item. You use it in conjunction with like the Dodge Stone, and you're basically getting 10% damage for -1 speed. But I mean, that's 2 items just for that. Really not worth it. We're gonna sell that. How much does this one sell for? 750. Let's get rid of that as well. We need to start climbing in the gold. In the gold numbers. A level 2 Plague Doctor. Not bad. But we need more slots to pick her up. We could get rid of this level 1 shield breaker. I kind of like that. Let's dismiss. We haven't put any, money into that at all.
Another soul battered and broken, cast aside like a spent torch.
Okay. Does anyone need anything? I mean, we could make use of the sanitarium. Let's see where we're going first. We have 148 of these crests, but that's, in the grand scheme of things, it's honestly not a lot. And so the week changed over, and now it's an ethereal crucifix. And you know what? If I'd have thought about it, we definitely would have taken Skibo to this battle. And there's nothing saying that we can't do that again. But Skibo... We would take Skibo, Behemoth, the Mad Hatter. We would need to change his build up a little bit, but you definitely want Harvest. Might have to sit down and figure out his build for a second. This is the new guy. Where's the slightly higher level dude? I always do that. I know we can sort by class. There he is. Zeke. Zeke is level 3. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. This boss, making it bleed is like the best thing you can do. It's a 4-piece monstrosity. That has like high protection on some of it, and other parts are very vulnerable. Some parts of it heal, some parts of it do damage, and some parts tank. But you can bypass all of that with an ability like Hound's Harry, or with an attack like Harvest. And you can just stack enormous amounts of bleed. Also, Reign of Sorrows does great as well. 4 points of bleed on 2 different pieces of the boss is pretty nice. And then I'm thinking also about using the Occultist because I like having the AoE options that, a Vestal just doesn't have. But I think that's fine. I'm not even set on having a second Occultist, but we definitely want this 3rd Vestal. And I don't mind getting the Ethereal Crucifix. I don't necessarily want it, but it will be very good in the courtyard, which is somewhere that we're going to be going very soon, because I think, is this the last of the bosses? The apprentice level bosses? I think it might be. We killed 2 here. We just killed the second one here, the Prophet and the Necromancer. We killed the Siren and the crew, and we killed these, was it the Swat? No. I think the Swine Prince is in the Warrens. We killed the Brigand 8-pounder. Was that in the Warrens? It's hard to remember, but I do think that this is the last. We can actually check if we go into, I think it's under Memoirs.
Time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
So we have to beat the flesh. It was the witch. We took her on so long ago, it's easy to forget. Okay. And then here's the bits about the Crimson Court. First thing we have to do is explore. And then, of course, okay, yeah, without too many spoilers. But yeah, that's the last apprentice level boss that we need to take down. Pretty good. Let's sit for a second and figure out our Jester build. In conjunction with the rest of the build, I don't like. What's our current position actually? We've got him in this slot here. We could move him here, do something like this, and then switch out the Vestal for, let's say, like Zeke. Finale works well on this boss, but we're just going to be using Harvest over and over and over again. Battle Ballad is also pretty nice. And if we're going to put him here, then we need to get rid of probably Cry Havoc. We also don't need it when we also have the stress relief on the Jester. Blackjack just giving us a little stun. It's not even upgraded. Guard Dog is pretty nice as well. This is all fine. We don't need to overthink this too heavily. And instead of the pull, we want the artillery. Something like that, maybe. Okay. Let's start our upgrades. Zeke's good. Mad Hatter needs to go up Sharpened Sickle and Restrung Loot. And the Padded Garb. He's got really high dodge. 25. Okay. May as well level up Blackjack. It's a good ability. And then here, level up Harvest. So 1 additional speed, 1 additional accuracy, 1 additional crit. Okay. I don't foresee us needing to use Dirk Stab. It would probably be better just to take Slice Off, but I don't think we need 2 of those abilities. Okay. Man, we're still holding on to these busts until we can get our next blueprint. And then we're just going to slam down. Man, a granary would be sweet as well. It's so tempting. You get almost as much food as you need for an entire run, every single run. Plus more effective. You can actually use your food as healing much more effectively with that 15%. But we're going to want the Sanguine Vintners. Okay. Let's equip what we want to have. Stuff that causes bleed is kind of a priority. Let's make our frontliner a little bit tankier. What do we have for him? We don't have any of his very specific stuff yet. The bleed amulet is great. We want to make sure that every time we hit that thing it bleeds. And we'll give him the dodge. I think that's a pretty good combination. And then for the Jester, we can give him a good chance to crit. That's cool. And 30% chance to cause bleed. That's great. And for the Occultist, we don't really need the stun chance or debuff chance. So let's just give him like a Book of Stress, because that guy tends to get stressed out pretty heavily. And a Life Crystal. Book of Sanity. That's good enough. Our strategies will become a lot more refined as we get into the harder tiers of these bosses. But let us provision. I'm surprised this doesn't have any type of name. Okay. Something like this. We are going into the Warrens. Holy water, not so important. The boss, I think the boss causes bleed. Let's take an extra bandage, perhaps. I remember some of its attacks, but not all of them. It has like a big mouth that like bites you. But in the Warrens, like medicinal herbs are king, so we should take 3 of those for sure. And we remember finding a ton of those piles of scrolls last time. We're going to need to make sure we find that. If we can, and burn them. Try and get rid of those negative quirks. But I think this is good. And let's embark.
My zeal for blood rituals and summoning rites had begun to ebb, as each attempt invariably brought only failure and disappointment. Progress was halting, and the rapidly accumulating surplus of wasted flesh had become burdensome.
I know that feeling, man. I can only fit so much flesh down my garbage disposal.
The thing is more terrible than I can describe. An incoherent jumble of organ, sinew, and bone.
Guys, if you've seen Season 3 of Stranger Things, no spoilers, but that's what we're fighting. Alright, this is annoying. So, basically the boss is either here or here. Actually, no. No, that's not correct. The boss is here, by my estimation. But we've got a lot of options. It's great when you can get to a boss quickly and relatively unscathed. I don't like how few damage items we have. All of our items are kind of centered around us being tanky.
A devastating blow.
This thing is dead.
Continually
May as well let him get the kill.
destroy them all. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And this is one of those times where we're going to definitely use dog
Triumphant
treats.
pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, got a little real fight going on here. We're going to be able to really spread around that bleed. Okay, nice dodge. Because now we hounds Harry. Everything bleeds. This guy's dead. Almost dead. We have an option here. I mean, we can Rain of Whips. I don't want to get a disease from this thing, so I'm going to prioritize that over, let's say finishing the Carrion Eater, which I think actually can also give you a disease. But he's already used his turn. I think we'll be able to go first. I mean, this sucks, because we're probably just going to cause ourselves to bleed.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
We had a choice there of either going for the stun or going for the kill.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Alright, that's good stuff. Let's get rid of this citrine. Did we get rid of the citrine? Yeah, let's not be greedy. It's only 250 gold. Oh my god, a shambler. Well, we can camp after. If we need to. I'm just asking myself, like, how equipped are we right now to fight a shambler? Wow, what misses? That would have been 2 dead spiders, and now we're going to take a ton of damage. Okay, we dodged. That's good. Double dodge, can't complain.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
I think I'm going to do this shambler fight, guys. We've gotten ancestral items from them before. Just the last 2 times we got ancestral items we didn't really even want.
Another abomination, cleansed from our lands.
We're in like perfect health, perfect stress. And I think we have a strong enough team.
So clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
We're going to use that because the little booger babies that the shambler spits out can cause some blight. And it's also just going to give them some nice resistances. But let's go. Let's do it, y'all. Double boss shambler episode. Ugh.
the infinite
Okay, that sucks.
malignity of the stars.
Just cause this thing to bleed.
The
Yes.
ground quakes.
The occultist loves fighting this thing. And that's going to help us move back into our original position. Alright. There goes the bleed. Don't know how easy it's going to be for us to clear these guys. We can use Hound's Harry to start stacking bleed damage on them, as well as the Jester's attack. We don't want them to get their buffs and to become basically immortal. That's just incredibly painful. So this thing is actually dead. This one not yet. Almost certainly can't move him. Yeah. Actually, he's only got 50% move resistance.
As
Not
the
great.
fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
We're doing great. But he's going to make another one of those. Oh, what did I call them? Booger babies? Yeah, he's making another one of those.
By inches.
And killing one of them before he gets to attack. Let's stack the big bleed on him. We need to get rid of this guy. Bleed. Okay, that hurt. That hurt. Man, we should have used the dog treats. It's not too late. The Shambler should be dead now. 21.
It could be dismissed as a fever dream, if not for the corpses.
Really late on the dog treats, but that's okay. Alright, a full heal with a little bit of bleed. And bleed is super effective against these things. And our new ancestral trinket is the bottle.
But a victory nonetheless.
It increases stress and food consumed. If you over-provision in food, it's not that big of a deal. But 25% max HP is a lot. We can't camp or anything. Who's got the worst? This is expensive. It's 1,500 gold. We can sell that. I wanted to save the dog treat. Man, this has already become a very stressful run. But I think we're bouncing back. We just don't have the type of AoE heal like a Vestal might that would just make this type of damage just really a non-thing. But it is an issue for us. Alright, he's dead. I think 3 of them are dead. Yeah, very good.
Slowly. Gently. This is how a life is taken.
Show me what you got. Nice.
Destroyed.
22% crit. I'll take that.
Remind yourself that overconfidence
God.
is a slow and insidious killer.
We could camp right now and just get a ton of buffs. Get a full heal. It's not great. We don't need to visit the rest of the dungeon if we leave it with full packs. It's kind of my thought. We can toss this. Alright, let's see what we have here. Don't want to use any of those. Those are all terrible. We can use Hound's Watch and Therapy Dog. So we won't be ambushed now. And then I think we can also use Every Rose Has Its Thorns. So our stress resistance is pretty nice for multiple battles now. And we can just rest. We don't need any of that healing.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And we at least get our herbs back. We don't need the food. So we'll just toss it. Look how much we've done in only 2 rooms. It's crazy.
Glittering gold,
Man, I want
trinkets
those.
and baubles, paid for in blood.
I'm doing it, guys. We don't need the bonus. Dang. There was a chance we could get some loot there. Bloodthirsty. No, that's awful. Our poor Jester. I just kind of use him to test everything. No diseases, come on. More damage, not quite dead.
A singular strike.
Now we use a Hound's Harry. So that's 2 of them dead.
Great is the weapon that
And now we just have the
cuts on its
Carrion
own.
Eater in the front to deal with.
Annihilated. As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Do we have any holy water for this thing? We don't. We don't want to touch that thing unless we have holy water, I don't believe. And only 1 onyx is not worth as much as the swordsman's crest. So let's just walk on by. Yep, there's the boss as predicted. We've got 1 more battle before we get to him. And a happy surprise, thanks to Hound's Watch, no doubt.
A decisive pummeling.
There's a ton of curios, though, that we could make good use of. Stack that bleed. This guy's almost dead, too. He's dead next turn. Alright, I'm cool with that. Man, if we get the holy water, that might be worth going backwards. I think it is. Because what that thing does is it removes a negative quirk. Let's make sure we reshuffle our party as well. Torn Rotator is pretty awful on a Flagellant. Those aren't that bad. Can I shuffle through the party? No, I can't. Okay. It's kind of a weird time to choose to dress him up. That one looks cool. Ashen, Faithless. Fear of Beasts is pretty rough because I think what we're about to fight is a beast. But this is a locked-in trait. It's a Torn Rotator, which, I mean, if you look here, punishes melee. Reign of Sorrows is melee. We don't need him to have reduced damage on every attack that he has for the rest of the game. And it would cost us a fortune to get rid of that. So let's just be real happy that that was an option for us.
Wealth beyond measure. awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Alright, y'all, get ready.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born. Squirming, contorting, and ever-expanding. This horror must be unmade.
Okay, guys, so the thing is, it's just 4 pieces, but they share kind of a life bar. So if you look here, this piece has 70% protection, and is pretty slow. This piece here, actually this is not a beast, this is 100% eldritch, so that's great for the occultist. This piece here is kind of like a heart. See, it says sanguine stroke, it's a heal. This piece, 30% protection, I forget exactly what this does. I think this does like status effects, and this one tries to like just straight up hit you. But this is what we're gonna do. All day. 2 bleed on each one of these. And it's all about the AoE and it's all about the bleed. I remember being very proud of myself the first time I figured this out. I think I just accidentally had a Houndmaster in my party. And I remember thinking I was a genius. If you look down at its resistances, it has no resistance to either Blight or Bleed. So a Plague Doctor would do great here as well. Not all of them though. Some of them do have resistances to Blight. And here we also see the head now. Big protection. Also has very scary attacks. Yeah, and this one, I think it has resistances to Blight because it also causes Blight. But if this thing just heals for 6, I mean, look at the bleed we're doing on the first turn. 2 damage, 5 damage for 3 rounds, 9 damage, 6 damage. And here we go. So this, if you know this strat, this quickly becomes one of the easiest bosses in the game.
Precision and power.
Just took 18 damage. Stunned here. If you don't know that strat, just to tell you guys, the strat is basically to hit the squishy one. It's like a, think of it almost like a heart.
It is as grotesque in death as it was in life.
So obviously super easy. We just put so much AoE bleed on it. There was nothing it could do.
Foolish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
We can read this. Blood-soaked pages torn from a journal. Nah, we read that one already. And we'll continue adventuring for a moment because we have a few extra spaces. And there are nearby curios that should be no problem for us to investigate. Okay. The Blackest of Fates, 5 of 5. I will return with Cuthbert's banner and Boland's crossbow, so as to honor them with a proper burial. I will leave what is left of thrice-damned Mizir and his trinkets to the swine folk. Perhaps they will build him the memorial he rightly deserves. Someone got greedy and got everybody killed. That right there is like the story of this game. Hunger checks don't bother me. I've got plenty of food.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
And we'll toss the shovels. And another journal. We fought in the East Gallery, filled with portraits of our ancient lineage, uncaring witnesses to the slaughter. Al-Harzi, the fiery heartbeat of our retinue, wrought keen havoc in our enemy's ranks. I keenly feel his absence, even as I remember voiding myself. Okay, we read this one also. Still cool writing, though. And I think you pretty much keep getting those until you bring them home with you.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it. If
We're
only
going for the
treasure
low-hanging
could
fruit.
staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
No reason to walk the rest of the way. We know it's down there. And this little extra bit here has definitely been worth it.
The light The promise of safety.
We have a little bit of room left. We could end up tossing the food. Oh no, that's true. We're kind of in a weird island situation right now. We've got to go all the way to the top and to the left. And you know what? We may have another hunger check, but that means we only need 4. So if we're going into some sort of battle soon, let's just top ourselves off. His disarm chance is pretty high. Use that just as an opportunity to get rid of an extra 5 stress. We might end up fighting something in the dark. Alright, maggots.
Be gone, fiend.
Awesome crit. Bleed, maggot. Alright. Down they go.
To the pit.
Nice and easy.
Another one falls.
We have no stress and almost no damage.
These nightmarish
After
creatures
fighting the
can
Shambler.
be felled. They can be beaten.
And the boss. Okay, let's not touch that this time. I learned my lesson. And the light is slowly going down on us. This battle will definitely give us some loot. No diseases, come on. He should be dead. That's 5 damage on him. I was gonna say, if we land that, they're both definitely dead. That's 9 bleed. Wow.
Reeling. About to break.
Did he land a stun? He did. Okay. And he gets another chance to use something at us. Accusation. We did pick up horror, but we're going to leave after this, so it's not a big deal.
The birthplace of dread.
It's not going to get a chance to tick down on us. Let's not mess around with him either. I don't think he had enough bleed to kill him. There we go. Wow, okay. There's no point to this at all. I don't know why I always do that. But let's pick that up. And this thing is probably just going to give us a ton of stress. Nice. So Fear of Beast was removed. There's a very low chance for that to happen, which is why I touched it anyway. But the more common thing is you just get hit with a big 50 stress bomb. But I think that's it. We're good. Let's get the heck out of here, guys. We did great today. We basically took on 3 boss battles. We picked up our 3rd ancestral item, which at this point in the game, I don't ever remember having more than like at least 1, maybe. But for us to have 3 at this point is crazy. And now we have the Ethereal Crucifix. Kind of right before I ended up wanting to go into... Ooh, that sucked, creeping cough. Right before I ended up wanting to go into the Crimson Court. So that's really perfect timing on that item.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
See, another level 2 Plague Doctor. And a level 2, yeah, we're gonna tell her to go.
Another
Pick up the
soul
level 2.
battered and broken. Cast aside like a spent torch.
She's got antsy, that's terrible. Probably still worth it to keep her. We're just gonna have to get rid of that, otherwise she's useless. And we have tons and tons of busts. We could upgrade a lot. Tons of crests as well that we could convert into other things. increase our roster size. The guild, we need more of these portraits, which we could definitely trade crests for and be fine, because God knows we have enough of those. And we actually need a ton of deeds to get up to this amount of armor smithing and weapon smithing. I think it may be worth it though for the guild to exchange. We need a lot though. Might be too many. We need 8. Is that worth it? Probably.
A strict regimen is paramount if one is to master the brutal arithmetic of combat.
You can see it even changed the look of the guild. The guild is now, how much? 66% complete? Do we have anyone who can benefit from that upgrade? I think level 4s do. Yeah, so we now have the availability of these level 3 talents, which is huge, or skills rather. That's great. I mean, that's one of those things you have to get eventually. Might as well get it now when we can actually benefit from it very soon. Because if we go into here now, there's nothing to it, but we can go into the farmstead for the first time, and we can go into the Crimson Court for the first time, get the Baron's invitation. The Tyrant's Tasting Cup is kind of a low-key great item. They're all part of a set. So each class has 2 items in the courtyard. And if you get both of the sets, you'll see where it's grayed out at the bottom. It says plus 33% stress skills while camping. If you have both of the items, which are usually really good items stand alone, then you also get the added benefit of the grayed out thing at the bottom. So the Baron's invitation, essentially by doing this, it'll let us get to the next tier in the courtyard. I really want to do that, but that might be the next episode. Let's see what some of these are. Highwaymen only. Caregivers Convention. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I could always look it up. But this is the Feather Crystal. This is the one that works really well with, I think it's the Focus Ring. So this gives you plus 8 dodge, which counters the negative 8 dodge here. So you're basically getting plus 10 accuracy, plus 5% crit, plus 2 speed. And all you're losing is some stun and movement resistance, which is so negligible. And this could be our first long dungeon. It's an apprentice level, which is, I know, not super exciting, but maybe we could do the apprentice level dungeon here, because this is definitely an item that I want. It's a great item. So I think we're going to do that. I may also want to look up Caregivers Convention to make sure this isn't some like amazing town event that I need to make sure I don't bypass. Actually, I'm going to sit here for a second. Let me pull out my phone, and I'm just going to use ye old Google to see what it says. If I try to Alt-Tab, guys, it'll just mess everything up. Not surprisingly, I get a ton of actual conventions for people who are caregivers. And 1 sec, I've almost got it. The wiki website for this game is kind of janky on mobile. So almost every time I go to actually use it. Oh, there's one called Mardi Gras? I don't think I've seen that yet. I'm from Louisiana, guys, so the brothel is free, gambling hall is free, and the bar is free. Okay, that's cool. That's a cool homage, I guess. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, Caregivers Convention. The sanitarium is free. Ooh. That's pretty good, especially if we could open up a second slot. We could lock in someone's good quirk and remove a bad one. Yeah, it sucks because I know I want to hold on to these busts. But maybe we do that instead of getting the Feather Crystal. That's a lot of value. So, Man. We can treat our occultist disease for free. That's like 1,000, 1,500 gold, something like that. And then lock in and remove. So, like, who is it? Xenophon? He's got, like, Warrior of Light. These things cost, like, 10 grand to lock in. And we could also remove, you know, something like this. Which would also, it's like 20 grand worth of value. Just on one character. And then maybe on, like, Nanami, she has some pretty crappy ones, too. Could lock in something like Unholy Slayer. Or even Early Riser is not bad because we like to keep the torchlight high. And remove something like Infirm. Yeah, I think we've got to do that. And in order to make that worth it, we need to increase the number of our patient cells. I don't hate that at all. What do you got, Stefan? I don't like that. But look how expensive this is. He's got so... Look at all these good quirks. Man. Quick reflexes. Yeah, we of course, we're not doing that. That's way too expensive. But that would be great, though. But guys, thank you so much for watching. What the hell? Raider's Talisman? 5% crit. Disarm chance. I mean, that's cool. Speed is cool. Scouting chance. Just a lot of weird things tacked onto one. I mean, I wouldn't hate it if someone gave me that, but we also don't need it. And because we have a ton of crests, let's just see what Wayne June says.
Trinkets gathered from forbidden places.
If we want him to say something else, can we just, like, do this?
Idol, amulet, or lucky charm. The simplest object can be a talisman against evil.
So now we'll start seeing 4 options instead of the 2. And they'll be cheaper. So, I mean, I would definitely level up the reduced cost before leveling up, you know, way deep into the wagon size. Because, you know, if you check it every week, you should be able to find at least one item that you want if there are 4 or 6 options available. We don't want to use all of our crests, though. We need them. So I'm going to hold off on using the rest. But like I was saying, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a pretty big one. And 3 bosses. 3 bosses down. Good items picked up. Let's unequip trinkets. Sort. And we're starting to get pretty fat with our items, too. Not bad. So here you go, guys. Here's your knock knock joke of the day. And I hope you enjoy it. Knock knock. Who's there? Cow go. Cow go who? No, cow go moo. There you go. The knock knock book has spoken. Alright, y'all. I will see you in the next one. Feel free to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed already. I would greatly appreciate that. I am a new YouTuber and all that stuff helps me out. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to comment as much as you want. Tips and tricks, constructive criticism, I can take all that. So alright guys, take care.